everyone, I'm THPine and welcome back to my Screeps Nooby guide. Today we're going to talk about the storage. Since talking only about storage would make for a very short video, I will also talk a little bit about some issues with the JavaScript autocompletion in Visual Studio and show you my new room and stuff like that. And before we start, I want to show you a very minor change I made since the last time. Actually, I didn't made it yet because I reverted the code. There we go. I changed the energy I use for creating lorries from 300 down to 150 because I think two very small lorries with 150 energy should be enough to fill up all the extensions because they have two carry and one work part. Two carry parts and one work part, which should be enough to fill up all those extensions in time, and therefore we don't need bigger lorries. So this should be good enough. And as explained in the last video, it's better to have two small lorries instead of one because it makes your algorithm or your economy more stable in case one of the lorries dies. Okay, now let's talk about storage. So the storage structure you can build when you get room controller level 4. And you can only build one per room, and you can access it via room.storage. And it can store all resources. It can store energy, but also all the other resources. Similar to a container, it can also store minerals and power and stuff like that. I don't use any other resources besides energy yet, though. So for me, it's only energy at the time being. So okay, what we want to change is how creeps are handling energy basically. And there are two things. The first thing is instead of every time. Whenever all the extensions get full, I used to spawn a new creep every time, even if I have a lot of creeps already. And I don't think that's very clever. So what I want to do instead is, when all the extensions are full, but I'm good on the number of creeps, so all the roles are full, all the roles have enough creeps to fulfill the roles, then I want to store the excess energy in the storage so I can maybe use it later. The other thing I want to change is that creeps will not only get energy from the containers, they will also look at the storage to get energy from there and use it to repair walls and build things and stuff like that, or upgrade the controller. Okay, those changes are actually very, very easy. So let's start with the most important creep for that, the lorry. Because the lorry has to change two things. First, it has to change the code where it finds a structure it wants to deposit the energy in. So when it doesn't find a spawn or an extension or a tower which is not full, so all the extensions are full basically, and the spawn and tower are full as well. In that case, the lorry should bring the energy to the storage. So in that case, find close by path of this with this filter will actually return undefined. So we just check for structure is undefined, and if that's the case, we just gonna check or set structure to creep.room.storage, and storage can be undefined as well. If there's no storage in a room, then storage is undefined. But that's not a problem, because if storage is undefined, well, then the creep will not just do anything. So this cannot break anything. This will just add some functionality in case there is a storage. So before, when this returned undefined, then the creep would just not do anything. So if all the extensions are full, the lorry will just sit there and not do anything with the energy it just got from a container. And now it will actually check if there's a storage in that case, and if there is one, it will get the energy to the storage instead. And if there's no storage either, it will just sit around, not do anything as before. So that's the first change, very simple. And the other change is very simple as well. We have to change the way, we have to implement one special behavior. In the case that all the containers are empty, for example, because your miners died, or your containers maybe got destroyed by an attack or something, or decayed because your repairers died, or whatever. So there are no containers left, or all the containers are empty. In that case, the lorry should, well, basically perform a rescue or a backup behavior. It should get energy from the storage and fill up the extensions so we can create more creeps. So in case this find close by path down here returns undefined, then we want to do the same as before, or in the upper part of the code. If container is undefined, we're gonna look for the storage instead. So container is creep.room.storage, and that's it. That's it for the lorry. That's very, very simple. So yeah, now if all the extensions are full, and the towers are full as well and the spawn is full, then the lorry will try to store the energy in the storage. And if all the containers are empty, it will try to get new energy from the storage. This can, in weird situations, lead to the case that the lorry is getting energy from the storage and is depositing it in the storage as well again. But that shouldn't hurt, so that's not a big deal. But it should be useful in other cases. So I think this is, or I actually tried this code already and it worked pretty well so far. Okay, now we have to adjust the other roles as well a little bit. We don't have to change the miner. The miner will just do what it did before. We have to change the harvester and the long distance harvester though, because they should behave a little different as well. So first, the harvester should do the same as the lorry when all the extensions are full. It should deposit the energy in the storage if there is one. So that's good. And it should also perform the backup behavior. So very similar to the lorry, we will actually check if there are any active, if all the sources are depleted. And if that's the case, we're gonna get energy from the storage. So in the case all the sources are depleted, or actually all the paths to the sources are blocked, then this will return undefined, and in that case the harvester will get some energy from the storage and try to fill up the extensions as well. So that's good, and we're gonna do one half of it, the upper half, for the long distance harvester as well. That's not the correct code to copy. So the long distance harvester should fill up the storage as well if all the extensions are full already. Let's check the console if there's any error so far. No, everything seems to run fine. That's good. Okay, so now those are complete. Let's change the working roles like builder, repairer, upgrader, and wall repairer, because they should not only get energy from the containers now, which they're doing or did before, they should also look for the storage. So we have to change this line. So in this line, the builder is looking for a container which is not empty. But it should not only look for a container, it should also look for a storage. So we're gonna change this a little bit. Let's break this here and add some parentheses here. So if S is either a container or is storage, there we go, and it's not empty, then well, he's gonna try to get energy from there. The cool thing is that container and storage both have the store property, so we can use s.store in both cases and don't have to change the code here. So that makes the statement a little easier. So that's cool, and that's actually all you have to do. And now we're gonna copy this, because this is actually this is exactly the same code we want to use for the repairer, the upgrader, and the wall repairer as well. So we just replace their filters with this new filter as well, and then we're almost good to go. There's only one minor change I want to introduce as well, or afterwards. So now all the working creeps, like builders and stuff, should now be able to get energy from the storage as well, and not only from containers, which is cool. You could, if you want to, you could change this to only look for storage. In that case, the builder and the repairers and all the other, and the upgrader and the wall repairer will only go for the storage to get energy. And they will rely on the lorries to fill up the storage with energy. And this sounds a little bit more like a more clean workflow, because all the energy is going through the storage, and is then like all the miners bring energy to container, the lorries bring energy from the container to the storage, and all the other creeps take the energy from the storage and work with it. And that sounds a little bit more like, it sounds a little easier. A little bit more clean, I mean, not easier, a little bit cleaner, but I don't think it's actually beneficial, so I just keep the container in here as well. I think that makes sense. If you have a different opinion on that, feel free to share it in the comments below. I'm not sure if this is actually beneficial, but I think it is. I don't see a huge benefit of just looking for the storage. Actually, I don't see any. So, yeah. Okay, so one more change. I want to change the backup spawn code, because we can change that now, because we have a little bit better situation now than we had before. So this is the behavior when we're running out of energy creeps, and with energy creeps I mean harvesters, miners, and lorries. So before, our economy would break down if we don't have any harvesters and either no miners or no lorries. This changes now though, because we can survive without miners as long as we have enough energy in the storage. So what we're gonna do now is we only gonna check for harvesters and number of lorries. Without lorries, we cannot get energy to the extension, so that's a problem. Without harvesters and lorries. So we need one of those. That's for sure. But miners are not as essential anymore. They're still important, but maybe we can live for a few ticks without them if we have energy stored. So what we're gonna do in this case is we're gonna check if we either have any miners left, so the lorries can, so we can create a lorry, which will then so we can sorry, I confused myself again. Okay, so we want to check if there's enough energy left, so we can just create a lorry which will take the energy and put it in the extensions. This is either possible if we have more than 0 miners, because in that case we just get more energy, so it's a non-issue, and we can just create another lorry which will take the energy and put it into extensions. And the other situation is we have enough energy in the storage left to create enough creeps to get our economy going again. So if we have miners left, or we don't have any miners left, but spawn.room.storage.store resource energy. Well, actually first we have to check if there's a storage in the room at all. Spawn.room.storage is not undefined. Is not undefined, and there's enough energy in that storage left to create another lorry and another miner. This is important. I will explain in a moment. So a lorry costs 150 energy and a miner costs 550. So let's just do this here. There we go. So there should be 700 energy left. Why do we need 700 energy? Well, we have to create, so we don't, okay, so let's go down the conditions here. We don't have any miners and any lorries left. So lorries, number of lorries is 0. And we also, if we get to this check, we don't have any miners left. Because if we had miners left, this condition would be true already, and we go in here anyway. So we create a lorry. But in the case we don't have a miner left, we're gonna check for the storage. And if we have a storage, but no miners left, we have to check that we have enough energy to create another lorry, but also to create another miner. Because if we can't create another miner and we create a new lorry, then this lorry will take the rest of the energy in the storage and will get it to the extensions. But if that's not enough to create another miner, then that's not helping much, because we're out of energy afterwards anyway. So we want enough energy to create another miner and another lorry, which is 550 and 150, or 700 in total. And in that case, we create a new lorry. There we go. And then the lorry will go to the storage, take the energy from the storage, and bring it to the extensions. And, well, eventually a new miner will get spawned. And then our economy is good again. There we go. That's storage. There we go. That's it. You can obviously create way more complicated behaviors than this, but this is enough to get it going with my code already. So that's cool, and it works already. I tried it before. As you can see, there's some energy in the storage as well already. Actually, if we check the room up here, I think there's even more in that storage. Yeah, you can also already see it actually. There's 70,000 energy in that storage already, which is pretty good. I'm happy about that. And the idea is to have some energy back up in your storage to respawn creeps when you're losing them without running in any economy problems, and B, so for example, what you can do now is to just say, okay, I got this, I got enough energy now to, like, you should always have a creep who is sometimes upgrading controller, because it will downgrade if you don't, but there's actually no need to consistently upgrade the controller as I do it right now. Especially when I have multiple creeps who do it. That's actually not that useful. Instead, what we can do is we can save up some energy in the storage now, and then at some point just say, okay, I have enough energy to get the controller to the next level. So I just increase the number of upgraders for the time being, and they will all go to the storage, take the energy, and upgrade the controller to the next level, and do it in one big push instead of like over a long time with only a small number of upgraders. And I think that's pretty beneficial and a good way of doing things. Actually, I should probably change the number of builders for this room, because I think I don't need any builders here right now. So this is spawn 4 if I'm not mistaken, so let's check that really quick. Spawn 4, number of builders 0. There we go. And there we go, and that's it. Okay, cool. Good. Well, we could try to get this to the next level. No, we need way more energy for that. Now let's just keep it running like this. Okay, so let me show you my new room and stuff. So I let's go to the world view, that's easier. So I abandoned this room because it's a pretty shitty room. It has only one energy source. I just took it because it was next to me and there weren't too many other rooms available. So I abandoned this because, well, I have GCL 4, so I could claim 4 rooms, but I'm still in the newbie area, and as long as you're in the novice area, which is what it's called actually, and not newbie area, you can only claim 3 rooms. So I abandoned this room, or unclaimed this room, and then claimed this one, which is still on a very low level. We're still on RCL 2, but it has 2 energy sources, which is way better. And they actually finished the extensions. That's good. That means we can build more stuff. The controller should get to level 3 soonish. Well, we'll take a few more moments, I guess. But we can build some roads. That's good. So let's do that. 3 roads over here. Maybe definitely some roads on here. Actually, no, not there. Probably not there. That's unnecessary. Not on the swamp. Come on. There was some lag. Remove construction site. So a few roads here, down here to the spawn. We could get some over to the controller as well, but I'm not sure that's necessary right now. Now let's just get those roads going, and that's it. I think I'm in a pretty good position right now, actually. So this guy seems like he could become a problem soonish. Also this one, he has 2 rooms. This one is only reserved, I think. I don't think he has claimed it yet. No, I don't think he can actually. He's probably only GCL 2. Yeah, he is. Let's just go there. So he could become a problem, so could he. They're both pretty close, but I'm not too worried so far, especially because like they're not that close actually. If you take a look, like he has to either go through the keeper room here, which is possible obviously, but I walled off already, so I should be fine for the moment with the defensive strategy, or he has to go down through here, which is 2 rooms away, and this one is a little closer actually, so I probably have to wall up this room fairly soonish. The good thing is when I wall up this room, I actually can take this room as well eventually, which is completely locked off from the rest, so this will be an easy way of getting more energy. Which is good. This one will probably become a problem at some point, but well, not right now. Maybe I'm good enough at this game at that point. This one has a lot of rooms already as well. Yes, GCL 3, which is not too impressive, but doesn't seem to be a noob either. Okay, interesting. Well, we're gonna see how this turns out eventually. If I don't stop playing for some reason, which I might actually, we're gonna see. I tend to not play games for too long. Okay, so I wanted to talk about Visual Studio Autocompletion, because I was complaining about it in the last episodes quite a bit, and that has multiple reasons. So a few reasons are because the autocompletion is not working properly. For example, if you have a creep object, it will the IntelliSense, which is the autocompletion from of Visual Studio's autocompletion is called IntelliSense, and for some reason it doesn't pick up that a creep is a room object, and therefore it will not show the room and the pos property, which is a problem. And there are a few other issues as well, which I cannot solve immediately. But there's one of the biggest issues I had was that I was not actually getting any autocomplete on these creep variables here. And the reason for that was that well, I didn't told the code that this is a creep. So how would Visual Studio know that this variable will actually be of type creep? Well, it doesn't, and therefore it doesn't give me any autocompletion. You can change that though. It's very easy to change that. You just create a comment here like this. It has to be this form of comment. You have to do this, the dash ** comments, which you close with *# So this is a comment. You could write whatever here. You can do this multi-line as well and stuff like that. But we want to have a very special comment here. We want to write at and then param brackets. Now the type of the parameter, which is the class creep, and now the name of the parameter, which is creep. And now it should work already, I think. So, well, let's actually remove that line to demonstrate what I was actually talking about earlier. So if you take the creep variable, you don't get autocompletion here. That's just regular stuff. That's not helping. So, but now if we add this line again, and now we use the creep variable, we actually get autocompletion. There we go. That's it. That easy. Cool. As you can see, there's no pos or room. That's because of the issue I mentioned earlier. But we can autocomplete the creep now. So you can add this to all your functions. There are more parameters like more comments like this. There's also a type and property and stuff like that. There are different ones you can use for different things. But the most important one in this case anyway is the param comment. And well, you can use it like this. Type of the parameter, name of the parameter. If you have multiple parameters, you just do multiple ones like this. Add, well, properly formatting is useful to make it easier and readable. Whatever, like, I don't know, object or whatever. Let's say string, maybe target, something like that, if you have multiple in a function. So that's very useful because it gives you autocompletion, which is great. So, okay, this doesn't solve all the problems with the autocompletion, but it solves, well, a lot of them. Let's put it that way. So I wanted to show you that. It's a nice little trick, I guess. Yeah, I figured out why the autocompletion is not working properly. It's not, like, the Visual Studio is not actually working well with this style of commenting in the autocomplete branch. It's possible to change that, but it would require a lot of work. Basically, let me show you an example. So if we go to room, for example. So let's say room controller. So this is not working properly because we're not supposed to use the type comment. We are supposed to use the property comment. And also we have to change a few other things around. So but let me actually show you. Oh, yo, there's another good trick, by the way. I'm going to show you that one first. So we have a spawn here. And if we take a look at spawn, well, you don't get autocompletion because, well, that's an issue of the autocompletion again. So this is not giving back a spawn for some reason. Autocompletion doesn't realize that. But you can work around that by defining that it is one, by saying add type spawn. So do you have to add the name as well? Maybe you have to add the name. No, it doesn't work. What am I doing wrong? Oh. Sure. Don't think we need the name here. There we go. And now this is spawn. Cool. It will not work with. It will still not give us a room because yeah, same issue as with the creeps. But what we can do anyway is say let room be spawn.room. There we go. Now we have room, and now this will actually not give us autocompletion, obviously, but we can again do add type room. And now we have autocompletion on room. Cool. So if you take a look at the controller autocompletion, it's not giving, like, this is not looking right. This is showing the add properties. It should not. It should give you a nice formatted text instead. It's not though. So we have to change this a little around a little bit to make this work. We have to swap those for some reason. Don't ask why. I guess it's not working well with the undefined thing. So we swap that. We have to add the name. And you have to add the description as well. If you omit a description, it doesn't work for some reason. So you have to write it this way: add property, type, name, description. And now, all of a sudden, it looks like this. It gives us the description here instead of some weird comment thingy. So it's formatted text, and it also gives us autocompletion and works. There we go, controller autocompletion. So that's really cool, very useful. You can use it if you want for some minor things. Actually, let's keep that code in there. Vice control. Oh, I did. Yeah, okay, never mind. Let's keep this code in here. is actually useful. I'm not gonna leave this. I might. Let's keep it in here. Why not? So if you want to play around with that, you can find the code in the description below as always. And I'm gonna keep this in here so you can actually use it as example code to write your own comments and stuff like that. So they work with the Visual Studio Autocompletion. So anyway, I think that's it. Good length for a video as well. So let's get back to the game and wrap this video up. So we talked about storage today and a bunch of other small things, and this was a very easy topic. The goal is to somehow refactor my code next time. I'm not sure I'm gonna do that with live coding. I might just do the refactoring and then make a video and show you what I did. I'm not quite sure about that yet. We will see. There's a bunch of things I want to change. I want to make it easier or cleaner or shorter or easier to read, stuff like that. I'm not going to change the logic for now. And then that's probably going to be the last video for this year, I imagine, because I'm in vacation afterwards, on vacation. So yeah, and we're going to have to see what I'm going to do with Screeps next year. I don't want to promise anything yet, because there is a real chance, like there's real potential of me just stopping playing Screeps at the end of the year. Because that's just what I do. I don't play games for very long. I at some point get bored of them. I'm always looking for new games, and therefore there might be, like, especially when I take a break from a game, it's very hard for me to come back. And I don't see me writing Screeps code when I'm on vacation with my family and stuff. So I'm gonna kind of stop playing there. I'm gonna check in from time to time probably, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do anything, and therefore this will be kind of a break. And there's a real chance that I will not actually come back to it afterwards. I might. I'm not sure. I don't want to promise it. I just want to be honest here. There might be more Screeps next year, but I cannot guarantee it. By no means. Last time I said, yeah, I want to do more Screeps after the last break. It took me how many months? I don't know, 5 or 6 or something along those lines. Like, it's a long time ago since I started this series, and I took a long break. So I don't want to make any promises. Anyway, I think I covered a lot of good topics already. Anyway, sure, it would be nice to have some topics about combat and stuff like that, and minerals, but those are all very advanced topics. If you want to tackle those, it's good to get your to wrap your head around it on your own anyway. The goal of this series always was to just give a good foundation to people, to show them how you can do things in this game. Not give them like a perfect plan, just show them a way of get things going, understanding some basic concepts and stuff like that, and getting used to the Screeps API and stuff like that. And I think I covered this pretty much at this point, so I'm not too worried about finishing the series soonish after the next episode or so. But you never know. Maybe I have the motivation to write a tech code next year or something. But as I said, I don't want to promise it. So yeah. Anyway, I'm TH Pine. Thanks a lot for watching. As always, have fun and see you next time.